Welcome to the Mortgage Motivation Podcast, and I'm your host, Gary Taylor. And as you can see, we're doing things a little different today. I got my guy, Ken Engram, that's here that wanted to sit down with you guy and go over some things. Me and Ken actually was having a conversation, and I was like, I think it'd be dope if we just jump on the podcast and let the people hear what me and my guy Ken talk about, just on regular phone conversations. It's not always about real estate, but my man is a real estate agent for Samsung Properties. And I'm trying to think, Ken, I'm not sure how long we've known each other, but we'll get to that. But a father, he's a cool dad. He's a son, got a cool family. His son's name is Kai, and his daughter's name is Callie. And we're going to get into all of that, but I want to introduce my man, Ken. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, man? What's happening? Thanks for having me.
Oh, no doubt, man. It's been a long time coming. We've been talking about doing something on video for a while. Pause. But
yeah. Now we got technology all in now.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll go ahead and open up this screen here just a little bit. All right, cool. But yeah, man. So Ken, just give us a quick, just a real short intro to yourself. You know, I just kind of did a little bit for you, but introduce the people to Ken.
Gotcha, man. Well, what's up, everybody? My name is Ken Engram. Like Gary said, I'm a realtor. I've been a licensed realtor in Delaware, Maryland, Virginia over the past 12 years. Definitely a proud cheer dad. I'm at competitions on weekends with my baby girl. And, you know, she's 9, taking over the cheer world. And then I've got my son, man, 17 years old. He's taller than me, bigger than me, eating up all the food. So you already know how that goes. You know, just wonderful kids, man. My son's in the band at Dover High. He just got onto the volleyball team, which we play Middletown. Okay. We want some smoke. And,
okay.
And you know, I'm more happy to be a dad than a real estate agent, man. You're just being a guy that you can be there for my kids and everyone else's. Right. But you know, I'm like the neighborhood dad. Everybody comes to me and taps in and says, you know, Mr. Kenny, we need this, or Mr. Kenny, what are your thoughts on that? So, you know, one of my favorite accomplishments, man, just being available, you know, and that's the one thing I love about my career, man. I'm available for everything. I don't miss field trips, parent-teacher conferences, games, you know what I mean? I don't miss anything, you know, and being available for them is, you know, super important to me. But outside of that, like I said, licensed realtor, and, you know, just here to create solutions. You're not just a real estate agent, a guy that, you know, puts pieces together and solves problems. That's really my number one thing that I do.
Man, I love the intro, man. And I think sometimes we spend so much time focused on the title, you know, what we do for a living. And I'm like, because once you get past that, when you get to know people, that's all you really discuss. I know you're an agent, I'm a mortgage broker, but when we get on the phone and talk to each other, that's not what we're talking about. And I think sometimes that is missed. And when you're working with clients, when they get a chance to see you as a person, that's what makes the difference. That's what builds a rapport. That's what it really solidifies the relationships that we have with our clients. But more importantly, man, I think one of the cool things about being in this industry, man, is I didn't meet you as a friend. I met you because we was a part of a transaction, and we bonded, you know, from day one, and we've been friends for years now. I don't know how many years, but definitely a couple of years. And the reason why I wanted you to even be on the Mortgage Motivation podcast is the fact that I think you're a dope guy. And I'm not even talking about the real estate stuff, but I think what you do is, I'm not going to say unique, but I think you do a really good job of that. And I'm going to break this down to you right now. So as you see, the first question I asked you to introduce yourself, and you spoke highly about being a cheer dad, about your son, you know what I'm saying? And that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to have you as one. Well, actually, you are my first person that I'm going to interview because of that. So yeah, man. So I think my first question for you, beyond being a real estate agent, is me just listening to what you said is work-life balance.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I got to add something else onto that, and then I'll let you answer your question. All right.
All right.
So Ken, he's between Virginia and Delaware. So he's not just locally Delaware.
Oh.
He's between VA and DE. So I want to add that in there because that adds on an extra layer to work-life balance. So Ken, how I be stressing about just living locally and trying to handle what I have going on. You're being a broker, being a dad, being a husband, and stuff like that. How do you live in two different states for the most part and not miss a thing? Because when I talk to you, I forget that you're in Virginia. I forget that sometimes you're in Delaware. How do you do that?
Believe it or not, man, growing up in the DMV, everybody that'll tell you that grew up where we grew up at, man, we're used to sitting in traffic 2.5, 3 hours to maybe go about 10, 15 miles. So
Right.
essentially, being in the car and being mobile is just helped out tremendously in the sense of if the I guess if the streets are moving and there's no traffic, I don't mind getting in the car and going places. So essentially, the way that I balance it is we sit down and we just go over our schedules, and then I just try to if I got a client. Okay, like prime example, I'm here
Mm-hmm.
today in Delaware.
Right.
I just put a house on the market, Climb and Vine. Definitely check it out. Shameless plug.
Okay.
I got I got an open house here Sunday, and then I got a settlement in Virginia on the 28th. But I guess the easiest way is just keeping your calendar, man. I've really been homing in on trying to be detail oriented and really trying to be organized. And I think that if you're organized, you can kind of get around everything. I mean, there was a time where I had 3 settlements in 3 different states on the same day, and it's like,
Wow.
I got a 9 a.m. in Maryland, 12
Mm-hmm.
o'clock. And then we ended up with Miss Vicky here in Delaware that afternoon. Remember? You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
You
Yeah, I
know,
do remember that.
it's
Yep.
just really
Yep.
about balance. But once again, with real estate, it kind of gives you that option to say, hey, listen, um, what day does settlement work for you? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or what day does this work for you? And then kind of like with my kids, my daughter, she's cheering on 2 separate teams. So she's there at the cheer gym Sunday through Thursday, and I pretty much already know, hey, Sunday through Thursday, I'm going to be 9 times out of 10 getting her there or picking her up. And then my son's volleyball games or the band's playing for the football or basketball team. You just have to put it all down, man, and just figure it out. But me, I've never minded driving. I don't mind being in the car. I don't mind listening to self-help books while I'm riding or something
Yeah.
ratchet. It doesn't matter.
Car University. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I tell people all the time, my car is my mobile office, man. But I just feel like with everything being so close to one another, why wouldn't you do it? And I think
Right.
that something that I try to get out of the mindset of that small town, so I just
Mm-hmm.
really feel like if I'm within an hour or 2 hour drive from something that I love to do, why wouldn't I do it?
For sure.
That touches on real estate in the sense of I was referring a lot of my clients to a lot of bad agents and
Right.
bad on me. So why not just drive over there and do it myself? That's just
For
really
sure.
how I handle it. And then the fact that the fact that I have family in these different places.
Mm-hmm.
So I always got somewhere to stay. It's not like I'm an NBA player. I got to get a hotel or anything. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. Right.
So auntie house, cousin's house, mom,
So
dude.
you something like a nomad.
I am. Man, I'm out of my North backpack, man. It's crazy, but
Right.
it definitely works. Now, granted, I'm not the 20-year-old that I used to be,
Mm-hmm.
but it works, and that's
Right.
really what it boils down to, man. Just being able to get from point A to point B, being able to definitely schedule, organize, and sky's the limit, really.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah, Ken got a lot going on, man. Because number one, I can relate. As I told you before, my daughter, she was in competition cheerleading. You know what I'm saying? So I understand it. I thought other sports when I was growing up, sports that I did was demanding. Nah,
No, no. And let me tell you something,
dude,
man.
it's a lot involved. There's a lot of practice. There's a lot of. I think in the beginning, being a cheer dad, you don't understand what you really signing up for because honestly, and I'm gonna let you finish, but I'm like when we first signed up for, I thought it was like being like a regular park cheerleader, right?
Yeah, pump, it's all
Yeah, pom poms.
good.
They do a couple of cheers and they out of there.
Right.
But if you've never experienced competition cheerleading, it's almost like gymnastics. You know what I'm saying, as far as with the practices, how
Yeah.
expensive it is,
Yes.
the touring, the traveling, the different uniforms they wear and the
Yes.
makeup, and they
Yes.
bringing in choreographers to show them different dance routines.
Man, let me
It's
tell you, man,
a lot involved, man.
my last 3 weekends. So I started out at the Gaylord in Maryland the first week of
Right.
March. First weekend, 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
After the Gaylord, the next weekend we were in Atlantic City, 2 days. After Atlantic City last weekend, we were in Lancaster. We get a break, and then we got to get ready to go down to your hometown, baby. Hit Orlando for
Right.
Worlds. So that's going to be the next move. And then the season, quote unquote, is over. But then they go right back into, getting ready for next year, tryouts, etc. Man, it's nothing like what we grew up doing. With football, it's like, hey, we have a season. We got a season for basketball. Cheer, a 100%, 365-day commitment, but it's for the kids, man, and that's what they like to do. So that's what we do. You know what I mean? We don't do it for us anymore. We do it for the kids.
Yeah, absolutely. But we get enjoyment out of it too, because the fact that you see how much and she's into it. You know what I'm saying? So, and when I first got started, I'm like, there's no one where I could be a cheer dad. I like football. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That changes real quick.
Man, I am all in, bro. I light up when I see your team out there, man, because we're talking 9-year-olds, man, that are flipping and cartwheeling and holding each other up, bro. Like, I understand. At least I see where my money's going. You know what I'm saying? Like, when
for sure.
You see these kids are coming in first, they're coming in second, they're winning bids to go to the world championship. You know what I mean? This isn't just hey, it's like going to therapy and your therapist never asks you a question. You at least what she's doing, she's getting a thrill out of, and they're winning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As I hate to bring my football team into this, but as a Redskin fan, you got to imagine $40 million into a team that wins 4 games. It's kind of disappointing, man. So the money here for us to win, I'll take that. Hey, you know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, speaking, since you want to bring that in there, you know what I mean. So I see you guys got a Mariota as a temporary. Thanks to the Eagles, we try to hook you guys up, keep you guys somewhat competitive.
Hey, man. Well, one thing about you Eagle fans that makes me laugh, man, you guys are so close every year. I'd rather lose every year. We're gonna lose than to get 10-0, 11-1, and then lose 7 straight, bro. Like, I mean, at least
that was wild, bro. Lose, hey, bro. Man, that just happened. Can we? Hey. We're talking about the Commanders / Redskins. Let's keep it on those guys, and you know what I mean. Yeah, it's still tough, but you know what I mean. But and speaking of which, me and Ken, we had a chance to we went to 2 games.
Oh man,
we came to check you guys out.
Remember the Frozen Tundra game?
Yeah.
And man, we keep wanting to see the Giants for some reason. We never catch the Commanders. We catch the Giants every year.
But some good games though, man. We had a good time. So I had a chance to see what it's like to be with a FedEx. You know what I mean?
Yes, in the pit.
Yeah, and it gets wild in there too. So now here's the thing, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on football, but people talk about the Eagles fans. It gets crazy in there. So I'm just let you know.
Yeah,
man.
One of my
crazy in there.
Game stories, man, is me and you, man. What was it, 13 degrees?
Yeah.
Sunday night football?
We had on everything we thought was going to work. I mean, even shooting back a little Henny, and I didn't do anything. So I think I was good maybe the first half. That second half, man,
let me tell you something. That was the one time I was happy we did not go into overtime. I was like, oh, game's over.
Dude,
let's get out.
It was cold, man. It was cold.
Yeah.
But nah, man, that's dope that I hear the support that you have for your daughter, and I'm pretty sure she's gonna love when she sees the podcast to see how much you really support what she's doing. And your son is getting with it too. The fact that one thing that I didn't hear that I think is really cool, because I was in the Air Force for a long time, for the guys who don't know who I am. But the fact that his son, now, did he get his license, his pilot license? Is it official?
Man, he's not a pilot license just yet, man. But my son, Civil Air Patrol, man, freaking, he's flying those little 2-seater Cadillacs, but man, my son, I couldn't say too much about. I can't say as much as I really want to about him, man, because he's an incredible kid, man. I mean, coming from having ADHD, man, to flying, playing instruments, man, and just really growing into itself, man. It's super cool to watch, man. People don't really tell you that when you see a kid born and then you see him at 17, 18, like even with your daughter. And she's a married woman now. You still look at her as your little girl, like my son, man. That's my baby boy. But now he's 6 foot, 180. You know what I mean? With dread.
Yo, he's 6 foot now?
6 foot, man, 180. Dread.
One time for Cal.
That's how the Cal. Incredible. And one thing I will say, man, about him and my daughter, man, they're in a competition academically. Like right now, my daughter's striving for all A's so she can beat her brother. And he's fighting.
That's a good competition, man.
Yeah, and he's fighting with her because he's like, I'm in AP history. Like, I'll never
Yeah.
change. She's
So
out.
wait a minute, because Kai, he's 17,
Yeah.
and Callie, she's what, 9?
Yep. 11th grade and fourth grade. Yeah, 11th.
They still going at it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm familiar with that, man.
yeah.
Familiar with that. You like think with the age difference that there will be no comparison or competition.
No,
Yeah,
man.
that's
Let
not
me
the
tell you,
case.
my daughter is more competitive than anyone in the house, man. Let me tell you, she's
Right.
got like a low grade bracelet business. She's making bracelets, selling them to her friends for $2 a pop, selling them to the
Right.
teachers in the school, man.
Entrepreneur.
The heart, man. And my son, it's so funny because I think having a daughter first kind of gives them a sense of responsibility. You know, daughters kind of
Right.
take care of their little brothers, whereas my son is like, dude, get her, please, bro. Like,
Right.
I don't want to argue with her today and keep her off of me, you know? So
Right.
it's just funny to see, man. But like I said, they didn't tell you to see them grow up, man. It's just a phenomenal thought, man. And like I said, it's just kids, man. It's crazy. You know, that really keeps me motivated, you know?
Yeah, that's cool. And I can see how you lighten up, man. So glad I asked you that question. Like I said, sometimes that's missed when you see people get interviewed. They spend so much time on what person does for a living, their title. And I try to get away from that. But however, we got to transition into you being a real estate agent. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because that's how we met. Yeah. Get your brand. I see. Yeah.
You know, make sure you get
Yeah.
it. Okay, go ahead.
And,
I'm
and
ready.
Ken make sure he keeps me in his merch. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
sir.
So I like that.
One's coming
I like
out.
that. Matter of fact, I should have wore mine today, but I've totally forgot about that. But
It's all right, bro. I got some new stuff coming, man. You're gonna make sure you get it, man. And that's another thing. Touching base on the real estate, bro. You got to brand yourself, man. But we're gonna get into it.
Right. Well, you know, I do everything with a flooring, bro. So it's just today. It just
all right. All right,
just
though. I
today.
need my shirt too. I'm not gonna let you off the hook from that. I'm gonna get with
I
last.
got you.
Somebody's got me.
I got you. I got you. No doubt. So let's transition a little bit into real estate. So tell us a little bit about your niche as a realtor. I know not everyone can do everything in real estate, in the mortgage business, or any business, not matter. What is your niche? So if someone's watching this podcast and they want to learn a lot more about Ken and what you specialize in, tell us a little bit about that.
All right, definitely, man. My niche in real estate is listings and preventing foreclosures. And I use that. Both of them go hand in hand. You know, I've got a lot of clients who, one, you know, are up against the wall with foreclosures and the banks, and I can practically save a foreclosure a day before it gets, you know, on the auction block. So I specialize in that, and I specialize in listings as well, which is I'm really good at sitting in front of people and explaining to them how I can be of service. I feel like there's a real estate agent on every block, so it's important for me to explain what I'm good at. And I think that you know, hearing people's situations, whether good or bad, I feel like I'm great at representing them as my clients and you know, getting their house on the market and getting it sold. And being that I'm still quote unquote a millennial, you know, I'm using a lot of the social media. I'm using a lot of the CapCut, thanks to you. And, you know, I'm really just getting more innovative. And I think that kind of separates me. You know, I'm not the type of realtor that puts a sign in your yard and you don't hear from me again. You know, I'm the type of realtor that I'm going to set a schedule. Like I said, we're going to touch base with each other every week. We're going to, you know, go out to eat. We're going to have high quality photos, high quality videos, social media. You know, we're going to do the things that the other guys don't do, because I hear a lot of, man, I had an agent and they put their sign in my yard and
that was it.
I haven't seen them. I mean, my house is under contract, but I don't even know. You know what I mean? I don't.
You already know that's going to be changing soon.
But
I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to get into that one, but we'll say that for the next interview. But yeah, man.
Yeah, so that's really my thing, man. I do work with buyers. I don't want people to think that I shy away from buyers. I just feel like my niche right now with my, you know, chaotic lifestyle, it's easier to get it listed and, you know, roll with it. Plus, I've got this great obnoxious sign, man. You got to see it, man. It's like 6 foot high, maybe like 40 inches across, man. You know, like, you're going to know I listed your property, man. Like, no matter what you do, you're going to be like, yo, this guy's got a sign bigger than the freaking front door, man. You know, but I mean, hey, I'm obnoxious. That's what it's about,
Yeah.
But
Yes, sir.
that's normally, that's what I do, man. Listings, preventing foreclosures. I've got a great team that helps me with short sales.
Mhm.
When your property's underwater, but yet you still need to get out of it, man. I have a great team for that. So that's me right there.
Gotcha. So it sounds like you got a very strong support system, which is key. You know what I'm saying? Because we've been talking about this for years. When you're trying to do everything yourself,
Yeah.
it's tough. You know what I mean? And then when you
I-
have that supporting cast is extremely important because there's no one in the world you can list properties in VA, Maryland, Delaware. There's no way you can make that happen
No.
and keep your sanity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's no way possible. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna kind of merge these two. It's not even really a question. It's more of an observation.
Okay.
You mentioned something that foreclosures
Yes.
and the connection that you have with your clients. So with foreclosures, what made you choose foreclosures versus any other type of transaction?
To me, people that are going through a foreclosure are more motivated to sell. And I know
Hmm.
that sounds, like an oxymoron, but I like to explain to people that they do have options. A lot of these banks are bullies, and I'm really against bullying. A bank will make you feel like we're taking your house, there's nothing you can do about it, and you don't have any
Right.
options.
Right.
And my job is to show you not only do you have options, but most of the time you can walk out of there with a check, you know what I mean, to go on to your next situation. But a lot of guys don't know, if you've owned a property for 10, 12 years and you fell on hard times, let's say due to COVID or, a
Right.
sickness or something, the bank will have you feeling like we're taking your house, but you may only owe 180,000. That guy two
Right.
blocks over just sold his house for 300,000. So by the
Right.
time you pay late fees, et cetera, commissions, you're still walking out of there with 40, $50,000. But a
For
lot of
sure.
people don't know it. A lot of people just think, oh, they're going to foreclose on it. Today is the 15th, foreclosure day is the 16th. And, my job is to show you that you do have options. And nine times
Right.
out of 10, you will walk away with some money to be able to start over, regardless of what your situation is.
Gotcha. So with the foreclosure versus a short sale, so
Mhm.
the short sale, no money is made. Foreclosure, they still gonna make money off the transaction.
Correct, but some banks actually will give you a few $1,000s, like a relocation fee. I've had a couple from Bank of America that they'll give you $5,000 to say, "Hey, listen, man, just don't tear up the crib while you're trying to
Right.
sell." You know what I mean? We'll give you a quote
Gotcha.
unquote relocation budget because believe it or not, man, banks don't want your property. They not in the
For
property
sure.
business. They're in the
Right.
banking. So they're happy to hear a guy like me that says, "Hey, man, let me get in here and let me help this guy out. Give me 30 days,
Hmm.
and I can get it done." And
Right.
that's really where I step in at. I'm a wealth of knowledge and experience when it comes to those things. Now, short sales are a little bit different. Luckily, we don't have many of them right now, just due to home prices just blossoming.
Hmm.
Everybody said,
Right.
"Hey, bought your house 10 years ago, you darn near doubled it as far as equity is concerned right now."
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, you don't have many people who bought over appraisal value and now they're, underwater, which is a good
Right.
thing. You know what I mean? That's really,
Absolutely.
so um, that's what I'm at, man. That's what I do.
That's good, man. That's good stuff. And I think it's always good to have that niche because I think you're going to spend more time learning about that product and really specializing into something, versus being a general practitioner. And I try my best not to be a general practitioner because you want to help everyone, but you can't. There's no one where possible you can do that. And
Right.
so sometimes you have to lock yourself down and just really, what do you say, stay in your lane. Yeah.
Really,
Hmm.
it's hard for you to focus when you're focused on, four, five, six different things, man. It's
Right.
easier to get in and really home in on your craft. It takes practice, but
Hmm.
the way that foreclosures work, I mean, we know who's going to get foreclosed on, the first week of June already.
Right.
So I'm already tapping in with them and saying, "Hey, man, let's sit down, let's talk. Let me help you with this situation." And that's really
Hmm.
what it is, man. You don't want to be the real estate guy that, "Hey, man, take these papers, sign that."
Right.
No, man, I'm here for knowledge. Like I can call a guy that's going to get foreclosed on in June and just say, "Look, man, I'm Ken. I'm here to help. I
Hmm.
work for anyone. I work for myself. I'm not trying to get over on you. I'm just here to
Right.
help." and that's really what it boils down to. But a lot foreclosures, like I said, in the end, it's all about the motivation. A lot of guys foreclosed on, they're really motivated to sell, especially when they know that there is some equity in the property outside of fees, attorney fees, etc. So, that's what it is, man.
Yeah, because that's I mean, it takes a special person to want to work with foreclosures in a way, because you gotta realize when a person is going through a foreclosure, it's one thing when you're not in that situation, but imagining that you have to move out of your house.
Right.
So the conversation is a little different when you're speaking to a real estate agent or an investor that's trying to purchase your property. So someone like Ken that's showing up, and you could tell that he cares. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I've been working with this guy for a long time, and that's one thing I love about Kenny. He's not just a real estate agent, a salesperson. He really cares about his clients big time, and I can only imagine how those conversations are with you. It's with them knowing that they're in good hands. They still could walk away with some money, because it's not a good situation for them for sure. But he's trying to minimize the blow as much as possible. Definitely when you're receiving the check, from a foreclosure. So I think that's cool. I think that's real good, man.
I come with no motivation, man. We've got guys who, they'll send them a piece of paper saying, hey, you owe 180 grand. We'll give you 182,000, all cash.
Right.
But then he's walking away with the lion's share after he gets in and renovates it. Like me, I'm not coming in from a flipper mindset. I'm not coming in from a wholesale mindset. I'm coming in from, hey, man, let's talk about your situation and let's see how we can fix it. And some people you do, and some people you don't. I've got some guys who say, I'll just wait it out. And, it's like, I mean, okay, but I don't think that's the best idea, for you. But it happens, man, definitely.
Gotcha. All right, because I know we want to wrap this up. I know you have things to do. I got another appointment right after this. But I thought about this while I asked that second question. What made you fall in love with real estate, bro? Like what brought you to the real estate career?
This story never gets old, man. So check this out. I worked in the seafood department at Safeway grocery store. And it was this older Caucasian lady that would come in all the time, and she's like, Ken, you're always so happy, and you're giving me salmon, and you smell like shrimp and fish all day, but you're always just so happy. And I'm like, yeah, man, this is what I do, this is my job. And I was a teenager back then. But told me, hey, listen, I got something for you. I want you to quit your job. I said, all right, well, let me give him a 2-week notice. And she was like, Ken, that's so noble of you to be 16 and want to give a 2-week notice. You're in the seafood department. Like,
can't you just quit today?
Yeah, like, come on. And so, I did that, and she hired me. And this story. So she hires me because she says, hey, Ken, listen, I'm getting a little older, and some of these neighborhoods I'm a little afraid to go into. So you being a young African-American male going into these African-American dominated areas, if you go and collect all the rent from me, because she owned like 10 properties. She's like, if you collect all the rent and you become, quote unquote, the property manager, I'll pay you 10% of everything that they pay as far as rent wise. And I'll pay you an hourly fee, for bookkeeping, learning real estate, that type of thing. So she would pay me an hourly fee. And the 1st through the 5th, I was literally going into the bowels of the buildings, man, because she was a slumlord, bro. But like, I was going to the bowels of the buildings, man, to collect rent. And some stories, man, from my account got hacked, so I can't pay this week, or I can pay this, and then 2 weeks later come back, and then so I got into it because that was right around the time where the bottom was dropping out of real estate. And like I said, at 16, I worked with her for 2 years till I got my license, and then man, I just took off from there. But she introduced me to, there are going to be a lot of short sales because there are a lot of bartenders buying $500,000 homes with these interest only arm loans, and she's like, hey, listen,
option arms,
yeah,
pick a pay.
Right.
Yeah.
So she was, get involved. Let's talk about it, man. She gave me a boatload of game that I still use today. And
those nasty loan officers. What was the guys thinking back then?
What the ladies make $1 an hour. She can't buy a $500,000 home, So I got in that way, man, and I've been real estate, man, all the way through, man. I took a break, every once in a while, a year off, you're off there just because the market was just out of this world, man. But like I said, now I've realized that this is my niche, man. This is what I'm here to do, until I can become a lawyer, which is my future goal, a lawyer / politician. I think that I'm gonna stick with real estate until it's over.
Gotcha. So, I mean, it's like I said, unfortunate because she saw a benefit in you and you saw a benefit in her.
Yes.
So it was a win situation. Now, granted, it wasn't the most ideal situation.
Not for
and probably at 16, you didn't realize you were being used.
Yeah, right.
But at the same time, thing I love about that story, and that's my first time hearing that story, Ken, is the fact that your awareness in that situation. So you was like, yo, I know this is at the bottom of where I should be, but let me take advantage of this opportunity because I want to be here eventually. You know what I'm saying? So you use that that opportunity to get your license, to learn from her, understand the different, rules of real estate, because it's not just been a real estate agent. There's a lot of niches within that family of real estate. So understanding how it all works and you getting real deal OJT, you know what I mean? Working with her, you had opportunity to see where you shouldn't be and where you want to go. Yep. That's dope, man.
She always instilled in me, Ken, the worst time to be in real estate. It only gets better from here, And like I said, when I was part-time, just trying to figure it all out, man. But now that I've been full-time, I still say that was the worst time to be in real estate. But if I could get through that, then, everything else is easy, man. Like even with what's going on, it's just navigating through, finding a way,
Gotcha. All right, man. So I'm going to leave you with this one. And I didn't give you a heads up. I was going to ask you this question.
Oh.
So, that's just a heck. So it's a simple question. So what is your go-to genre of music? What do you, because Ken works out, shouts out Ken, lost a lot of weight. So I want to bring that up too. So health is, we all big with that. So when you at the gym, what are you listening to? And when you drive into your car, what are you listening to?
Man, I'm a 70s funk baby. Man, I'm listening to Curtis Mayfield. Mac soundtrack is definitely something that I'm listening to. It's Jay-Z, of course. I got Jay on rotation all the time. But for the most part, man, I'm a DC kid. So, go in it. Anything with a live sound is what I like. And that's what I love about music in the 60s, 70s, man. That's when you could hear the drummer in the back and the horns and the guy over here. That's when you heard every single piece of the music. And I think that's why I'm a big fan of go-go as well, man. Like the live feel of music is what I go to, man. So that's my number one. I can't listen to too much of this new music. I mean, like me and you talk, I took my son to Rolling Loud for a Sweet 16, man. We went to Inglewood. And bro, I can't understand a word any of these new guys. I'm not even trying to figure it out anymore, bro. So when you get in my car, it's a blast from the past, man. That's what my dad do, man. You're gonna hear a whole lot of Freddie's Dead, a whole lot of War.
Yeah. And it's funny, I was gonna ask you where you got that from, but you just answered that. You got it from your pops. Same thing with me.
Hey, man, before I get off here, man, shouts out to my dad, man. My dad had an 88, man, and I swear, bro, we had one tape in there, and that joint played until it couldn't play, man. But my dad's a big Parliament Funkadelic fan, and that's where I get it from, bro. Like I have to hear it. Like every at the gym, everywhere I'm listening to it, man. It's my playlist. Like everybody gets mad at me, like put on some Young.
I guess we old school now, bro. We the old heads. We the OGs.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. I love. We love what we love, man. But that's my go-to, man. But other than that, man, I'm listening to a lot of self-help books. I'm not a big reader, but I'm a big listener. So that's what's helping me, get through things. But podcasts as well. I mean, I'm really getting back into the podcast feel of things. You turned me on to Earn Your Leisure years ago, before they even really took off, man. And I definitely did a lot of that. And, that's me right there. But a lot of the times, believe it or not, man, I can ride in silence, bro. Like the way my mind works, I'm really just thinking of the next big move or the next play or the next do. I do a lot of silent riding as well. So
gotcha. That's cool. Not now, because I already knew this, but that's the reason why me and Ken get along so well. We got a lot of similarities, man, and expect the way we work with our clients, from the music that we're listening to, and that's cool, man. I almost forgot it was recording.
Yeah,
Yeah,
gotta remember.
yeah. We got to make sure that we keep this as short as possible. But I really wanted to introduce Ken, you know what I'm saying, to my people, and hopefully, you got some gems out of this, because, like I said, he spent a lot of time speaking about his family, which is extremely important, because that's his why and his love for real estate. And just a few things I want to end with, just my relationship I got with Ken. Ken go out of his way for his clients, man. Like, I've never seen. Sometimes I'm like, yo, Ken, why are you doing all of that? And I can share stories for another 30 minutes of things that Ken has done, but it goes to the heart of who he is. But when I had a chance to meet his mom and hear his dad and talk to his sister, it's where he comes from. That's the cloth he was cut from. So it's in his soul, man. And that's one thing I love about Ken. And that's why I could truly call him my friend. You know what I mean? So just real quick, Ken, uh, I know your IG, I think it's with Ken underscore
Ken
Engram.
Engram, yes.
Yeah. So check him out. He posts a lot on Instagram. And if you want, well, not only about real estate, but you will see his daughters, what he's doing. You know what I mean?
Everybody, because I hate to cut you off, man, but I'm not defined by being a realtor, man. One of the things I hate about a lot of the agents that I talk to, man, is it's always about business, man, and it treats people like robots. How's business? Right. Have you sold anything? What kind of settlements you got? Yeah. Like, bro, I'm a human being, man. So that's just my little thing about realtors, man. If you always push real estate, it kind of turns people off. It turns you into a sleazy car salesman to me. Right. So I'd rather be a guy, a dad, a family man, as opposed to just being a real estate agent,
For sure. Absolutely. Well, Ken, I know you got to get out of here, man. Thanks once again for, joining us on the Mortgage Motivation Podcast. And I know I'm going to have you back again. We got it. There's a lot of other things that we want to discuss, but I wanted to make sure that we get the intro out of the way and people get a chance to meet Ken Engram before the real estate agent. And I think we did a really good job of doing that. So, but thanks for, joining me on the podcast. And I'll see you later, man. Peace.
Absolutely, bro.